Hi, my name is Robin Nilsson. I am a career assistant at the Berry Career Institute, and it's our mission to provide Cornell College students with all the information they need to properly start their careers. One important experience we recommend all students have is an internship. Today we have something sweet to share with you all. Here is everything you need to know about internship funding. What does an internship look like? These options all vary significantly based upon the opportunity. They may be unpaid or paid, pre-structured, or tailored to the individual, funded or not funded, during the summer or during the academic year. Here we see there's all of these different options, and it's important for you to know what is important to you when looking for an internship. They are not all created equal. Now here are some key questions to think about. Do you need credit? Can you start with an internship close to home where you won't have as many expenses? It's important that you don't expect to get paid, and also realize that it is very common for internships to result in costing you money rather than giving you money. Here are several common costs related to internships that we encourage students to consider ahead of time. Potential internship costs can include flights or gas money to get there, local transportation, housing, groceries, and miscellaneous costs such as registration fees, necessary uniforms, or other resources, or even shows you would have to pay to attend or conferences. This is an image of the form we have students fill out when applying for internship funding. This looks overwhelming, but I promise it's not. Let's take a look at each section to better understand why this form is helpful, not just for our office to provide funding, but for you in your planning. Now, here we see a title sequence and the first two sections of the form. We need to know the length of the internship and if it will be away from your home, as this will affect the cost significantly. You should consider if your internship will have you at one spot or if you will be traveling, if you'll be getting paid at this internship. List it here, okay? List if you're getting paid and how much. We also cover your travel costs to the internship and back, as well as the expected daily travel expenses, because we know that it's very difficult to pay for gas if you're driving far each day as a student. Here you see that we include a housing section, meals, miscellaneous, and other funding. Housing is a significant expense if your internship will be away from your home. Find places or options of places to live and average out the costs to put in this section. We may also contribute to your food during the internship. This need adds up as well, so it's really important to consider this factor. In the next section, conferences and training fees or registration fees, as mentioned before, have to be considered. So some internships include these as a part of the experience. It's important to research this beforehand. Lastly, if you are receiving funding for other areas on campus, it is important to let us know so we can give you only as much as you need, so we have plenty left over for many other students who also need this funding. Here we see the difference between internships for credit that are spent during the year and over the summer. During the year, if you're doing an internship for credit, it is covered by tuition, but if you're doing it over the summer, it is $400 each. Some financial scholarships also apply for summer internship costs, so I encourage anyone interested to discuss this with the financial aid office as well. There are two different types of Cornell funded options. There's the Berry Career Institute funding, and there's a Cornell fellowship program. Let's compare the two to help you decide. The Berry Career Institute funding options usually applies 2 to 4 weeks or more of an internship. There's a simple application and budget, there's very few requirements, and you have to apply as soon as possible, 30 to 60 days prior preferred. Funding maximums are $1,500 for 4 weeks, $2,000 for 8+ weeks. When this is international, it becomes $2,000 for 4 weeks and $250,000 for 8 weeks. You don't need to get academic credit if you're doing it this way. Here's an example of a student who applied for BCI funding and what he did with it. Alan learned about an internship through a class he was taking, and he was accepted by the site. He applied for $300 of Berry Career Institute funding to cover gas and lunch costs in Iowa City. Next is the Cornell Fellowship Program. Here we see that it is for 8 weeks or more, whereas before the other slide said only 2 to 4 weeks or more for a BCI funding. You have to apply for existing or proposed new site. You have to be more involved in the application process. It usually takes a bit longer. For domestic internships, you get up to $3,400, whereas international, you get $4,100 maximum. This is significantly more than what we saw for just the BCI funding. Responsibilities during and after experience are required, and there are deadlines, rolling basis, 60 to 90 days in advance. There are priority deadlines and final deadlines as well. Here's an example of a student who took part in the fellowship program. She majored in environmental studies and wanted to spend some time out in the field. She met with Rebecca in our office and her professor to learn more. And she applied for the fellowship program, ended up receiving $3,240 for housing, transportation, and food for 8 weeks in Georgetown, South Carolina. Her internship was at a field laboratory there. Here's an example of a student who proposed a site location. Zara had an uncle in Seattle who connected her to a nonprofit who needed marketing help. So she was accepted by the site, and she proposed it as a Cornell fellowship and received $3,400 for housing, transportation, and food for 8 weeks in Seattle. Now, here's how you can apply. You can find all of these resources on the BCI page, and here are the links more specifically. If you have arranged to get your own 4-credit internship and would like to request funding, you use that top link. For the next one, if you want to apply for an existing Cornell Fellowship site, you can email Rebecca Solins at her email there, or check the website. If you're doing a non-credit internship and would like Berry Career Institute funding, email Lindsey Meza, or check the website again for more information. There are several different elements to consider in this application. For all funding applications, you will need to prepare the following. You need a personal statement, 600 to 900 words, providing background on your internship and the company, your qualifications, and how this aligns with your educational and career goals. You need a resume approved by the Berry Career Institute, our approved budget form, which I explained before, and an unofficial transcript. More details can be found on our website, and we continue to encourage you all to do research there. Make an appointment, especially for resumes and for cover letter building, which are the first 2 most important steps of this process. And then once you get past that, you can begin to talk more with our senior advisors about these internship and fellowship options. The reason why this is important is because there's no good in starting that conversation if you don't have a strong foundation under you with your experiences well displayed. So here you can see how to make an appointment. And as of right now, during the coronavirus crisis, we're doing online appointments. So be sure, if you have any questions about that, to email Lindsey Meza. Here on the website, you also see a section specifically about what we're talking about in this presentation, job and internship preparation. We cover resumes, cover letters, and interviewing all on this page. And you also gain great opportunities looking through Handshake and searching through other resources. And also you can explore what you can do with your major if you're not sure where to even start looking for an internship. Sometimes that tab is really helpful. So if you have any questions, visit our Contact Us page and send one of us an email. We are very happy to help. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you all have a great night or day. Bye-bye.